TC Harrison Ford are one of the largest family-run Ford dealerships in the UK. They've got 8 locations in England, and they have a motoring pedigree that goes back generations. TC Harrison Ford, who started the company, was a motor racer. He took part in the inaugural F1 Grand Prix at Silverstone, and they've been going nearly 100 years now. And I believe the very first part exchange they did was with a horse and cart. Some of the trends that have been affecting local car dealerships in recent years, obviously there's been widely reported chip shortages from the microprocessors. There's been market disruptors come in and gain more prominence, like Kazoo and Cinch. And there's growing expectations, obviously with the impact of COVID, everyone sort of getting more familiar with online purchases, larger purchases online. Those growing expectations have sort of expedited now to, they're a really key part of anyone's buying journey, especially for a large purchase like a car. Some of the challenges that TC Harrison have faced have been around, market disruption. So whilst they're not going toe-to-toe with the likes of Cinch and Kazoo, there is that growing expectation of, seamless online experiences and journeys, particularly around younger audiences who, from our research, we found that they preferred to do sort of a distance sale, but balancing that with, general audiences who aren't quite ready to take the plunge and go through that whole process online. And that's sort of been compounded by the legacy platform that they've been on up until recently, which has made development costs and changes slower than we would have liked and more costly than we would have liked. So a key part of moving forward was to look at the platform itself, move that forward so that it can enable the responsiveness and the change that was required to meet those growing expectations from their audiences. So meeting the challenges for TC Harrison was partly to do with the platform itself. Having been on an outdated platform before, that was partly holding them back with some of the functionality and flexibility that they needed to move forward. But the other part of the challenge was around user expectations and bringing more prominence to the brand to stand alone. And how we tackled that was through a discovery program right at the start of the project, which took a deep dive into all of the nuanced needs for each of the user types. We did work around personas, which drove a lot of the decisions around the project, user journey mapping, etc., to understand how those needs could map to functional requirements. And it wasn't just an iterative change, we weren't just evolving the current site, we were rebuilding, ground up redesign, essentially. So it was important to make sure that the brand was really well articulated to reflect the sort of trust and heritage that TC Harrison have, which is really key, and particularly for younger audiences. If they're looking at, market disruptors like Kazoo, etc., it's important for TC Harrison to feel fresh and be easy to use online as an experience, but also reflect that sort of trust and openness and family-run feel that they're known for. The outcome for TCH was that they've got a much more flexible system that can cater for more of the sales experience being done online without alienating those users who would prefer to do their business with TCH directly in person. So throughout the applications and journeys of buying the car, users are able to sort of save progress, if you like, and go into dealership and speak to a real person. And also, those expectations that have been built by users are now being met. So they've not only sort of caught up with those market disruptors, but in some ways leapfrogged them as well. So they've really paved the way for the next 10 years of needs that the users have. and be able to satisfy those well into the future.